Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Welcome. Oh, there we go. Welcome. Sorry we're running a little bit late, but we are here, and I'm really excited today. By the way, my name is Josh Sharp, and today I have with me a good friend and an amazing sales trainer, coach, speaker, author, and just an all-around, well-rounded guy. We've had a few chats, and I've got to know him a little bit, and he has some amazing insights. And we were having a conversation not too long ago, and just from that conversation, I was like, there was a couple key things in there that I was like, I know that this is important for people. I know this topic of sales and how you outsource it, because I find so many people in our community, they get wrapped up about sales and like, oh, I don't want to do the selling anymore, and George has found a way around that. So today I'd like to introduce Mr. George Zanatta. And first off, George, thank you for coming out. And again, I apologize for being late on this, but thank you for doing this interview with me today.
Well, I was supposed to be the Mexican. I'm supposed to be the one to be late, right?
I would never
That's
propose that. I don't. I've never held that stereotype.
that's all right. That's all right. Well, thank you very much for inviting me, Josh. I hope I have some valuable information for your viewers.
Absolutely, absolutely. So just kind of start off. Just let's hear a little about you. What kind of brought you to this? I know you do a lot of speaking now, and you do a lot of consulting with different companies and sales training. But what kind of brought you into this world? What kind of led you on the path to coaching to begin with?
Well, honestly, I knew what I wanted to be 30 years ago. 30 years ago. But I was listening to some cassettes back then. I'm dating myself here with some cassettes, and at that moment I knew that that's what I wanted to do about 30 years ago. But as most of us, I felt into fear. I said, I don't know enough. I'm too young. Let's wait until I get more prepared and know more about this. Then I'll do it. Well, to make a very long story short, after about 25 years of learning and getting all the kinds of certificates and books and programs and seminars, 30 years worth of it, one day in one of those significant birthdays that end up with a zero, the wisest person that I
We
know,
won't
which
ask
is
which
my
one. We won't
wife,
ask which one.
my wife called me and said, George, now can you come here into the room? Where I have a room where I had all my videos and my tapes and my certificates and all that stuff. And she said, how much money do you think you have spent on all this? I said, small fortune. And how much money have you spent only with Tony Robbins? I said, don't even remind me, it hurts. I said, and when do you think you're going to do something with it? And that pretty much threw me for a loop because I had been preparing and preparing, and I was in the paralysis of analysis. And after 30 years of training myself, I wasn't doing anything with it. So I said, if I don't decide to do it now, I will never do it. So I sold my businesses. I set up myself from making a very good living to nothing. And I started
Wow.
my career as a business coach. And actually, I started as a relationship coach. Very soon I found out that my training and my own life experience which was much more suited for business training, and I started business training and doing public speaking, and little by little I pretty much started my business from zero. But that it is not my business, it's my calling, it's my mission. I would still do it if I wasn't making any money.
Mm, yeah. So through all that, what is it that you're doing now? Like, what's kind of your specialty? Like, who do you
Well,
like to work with?
at this point, I am doing business coaching. At the end of the day, anybody that is a coach knows that everything is life coaching. Though I entered that world through business, and I help entrepreneurs. And I heard this phrase from a friend of mine, a great coach, Mr. Michael Charest, that he called us solopreneurs. And I asked him, did you came up with it? I said, no, I heard it somewhere, so I don't know who said it first. but it's the solopreneur. I started helping them starting businesses and finding all the challenges of starting a business. Little by little, I started working as a speaker and trainer for corporations, and I was doing some of my accounting, and I came up with interesting numbers. I don't know if this will sound fun to you, but in the last 9 months, I have been in 42 states in 220 cities giving seminars.
Holy
So,
cow!
believe me, it's been an interesting path.
Did you count countries in there too? Didn't you do some time in
Actually,
Asia?
those are only in United States. I'm planning to be doing some in Mexico pretty soon.
Oh wow! And then you did something in China. There was a
Well,
wasn't there
yeah,
one there?
I went there for a month and I was doing some experimenting. Eventually, I hope that I work for some corporations that will take me over there.
Okay, so you're an international man of mystery then.
Yeah, sort of. Yeah, baby.
Very
Actually,
cool.
I look more like the billion dollar guy, right?
Well, you got a nice haircut. That's why you can't
Yeah.
help it. Well, good, good. So, okay, so lots of different business stuff, and you know, part of what I've been doing with these interview series is really, discussing the idea of lifestyle and the importance of the focus on lifestyle versus the focus on business. How has that played out for you? Like, what kind of emphasis do you put on your lifestyle and when you're choosing, like, I want to do this project or I want to work with that client? Like, what's kind of the process that you go through when you're making those decisions for direction?
Very simple. Very simple. I don't do anything I don't have fun doing. If I don't have fun, I don't do it. Period. Sometimes I do have to reframe it. However, if I don't have fun, I don't do it. Life is too short.
Right.
So if there's a client I don't think I can work with, which is not what happened at the beginning of my career, because at the beginning, when you have this many clients and then you don't like one or two, well, you can say goodbye. I know this other coach that might be a better fit, whatever it is, because you have another eight, right? When you have this number of clients and you don't like them, you sort of said, well, it's probably me. I can do better. I can do this. I can do that, because you only have two clients. When you only have two clients, you have to pretty much take it. Uh, there's a point in which I didn't have to reframe anymore, and I just do it if I have fun. If I don't have fun, I don't do it.
So what's fun for you then?
What's fun? There's some people that are coachable. Some people that think they're coachable. The
Hmm.
ones that think that they're coachable is like the ones that go and buy the membership to the athletic club, and they think that just by buying the membership they're going to be fit. Same thing, there's people that hire coaches and say, well, I already have a coach, but that doesn't mean that you're coachable. Coachable to me is the person that I tell them to stand on their heads, and they do, and they tell me how long. And that is the person that I want to work with, because my commitment and what I tell everybody is, I don't succeed if you don't succeed. If I have a client that doesn't succeed, it looks bad on me. So I really have to be very careful on who do I work with in coaching. Training, on the other hand, I give them the small print first, which I tell them, training does not work if you don't have follow-up. Training doesn't work if you don't continue with it. Other than that, if you just think that you're going to go to one of these information dumps, which is a seminar or a training session, and that you're great, that is not going to happen. What happens is that after a month and a half there, that you're writing on the floor of the seminar, you think that your life changed. It's the problem of the law of diminishing returns. And since then they don't apply it and they don't continue with the training, it's going to become entertainment. It was really entertaining, and that's it. And after a few months, the only person to blame is going to be me, because I'm the easiest person to blame. Oh, it was good, but it didn't work. The guy wasn't that good. So every time I give a seminar or a training, I tell them from the beginning, he said, this is not going to work unless You continue and you do more training and you do your follow-up. If there's no follow-up, this is just entertaining.
Right. So I think you're hitting on a good point. And I know this was something that tripped up me a lot, and it's something I still could learn to do better. I'm always learning this aspect. Is setting expectations. How important is it for you to set expectations with your clients, and do you kind of have a process that you go through when you sit down and you're going to work with them, like laying out here's what to expect and framing that for them?
Well, although this is a completely different subject matter, the
Right.
one,
Sorry.
I will take you into it, because my format of training is the gap training, because there's always a gap between where you are and you want to be. But in order to succeed at what you do, first you have to know where you are. Then you have to know where you're going, and then we can build a bridge. The challenge here is that clarity is power, and most people are not clear neither of where they are, neither where they want to be. So how are you going to build a bridge? You have to have a place to start from, a place to end, and then we build a bridge. So my point of training, my 3 points of training and coaching are where you are, which sounds easy, but it's not. Most people are really fussy about things, and we are the worst judges of our own performance, because uh, whose rules are right? Whose
Mine.
jokes are always funny? Who's
Mine.
got good taste? So when it comes to do self-evaluation, we're really, really, really bad, because we're very good at evaluating other people, but we're really bad at evaluating ourselves, because we're too close. We all have these reasons why we do what we do, and people don't understand us the way we understand. But that is our challenge, that it is very difficult for us to place us in life unless we have somebody else's eyes that are giving us the feedback, and then you know where you are, then we figure out where you're going, and now we can build a bridge. So expectations are, let's find out, because most people that I encounter, even people that they feel they're very well centered, they still have some of those things very fuzzy.
Hmm. Hmm.
Makes any sense?
It totally makes sense.
All right.
Totally makes sense. So, and let me tie us back, because you're right. I was kind of diverting us a little bit. And you're right. That is a whole separate topic of just setting expectations and how to do that and how that can be effective. Let me ask you though so let's go on to the sales piece. So kind of talk to me a little bit about what is it that you've done. I know you've been a sales trainer, so you're really experienced in this realm. But how is it that you've recruited and found somebody to take this aspect of your business and to be successful with it? And how has it impacted your business since you did that?
Very much so. It just changed everything. You see, there are some businesses, quite a few of them, especially services-based businesses, like realtors, loan officers, lawyers. There's a lot of service-based businesses which you are living either in feast or famine, feast or famine, feast or famine, because either you're doing the job for somebody or you're looking for your client. When you're looking for a client, you're not making any money. You're filling up the pipeline. But then you get another client, you have to go and do the work. So you go through a stage that it's either you're working or you're marketing. You're working or you're marketing. Now, according to Dr. Donald Clifton, he was the father of the strength-based psychology. I don't know if you're familiar with it.
What
Uh,
was his name? I didn't catch that.
Strength-based psychology.
And the doctor who founded it was?
Donald Clifton.
Okay.
Now, since he started with this, he pretty much told us an incredible truth. It makes no sense in working on your weaknesses. It doesn't make any sense, because that is what you're not good at anyway. So anytime you spend time or effort in getting better at what you're not good at, you are losing time of getting better at what you're really good at. So it pays off much efficiently if you concentrate on increasing your gifts and becoming better at what you're already good at. So if you're a good coach, it would pay off much handsomely if you concentrate and dedicate yourself to become the best possible coach that you can be. And if you're a mediocre salesperson, leave that aside and go and find somebody that their strength is to be the best salesperson that they can be. Now, if you find somebody that is they excel at sales and you are the product that you excel at coaching, that is true synergy. It's absolute true synergy when you do that. Now, that doesn't mean that I am bad at sales. I can sell, but that is not the focus that I want to put into my life. I did that for many, many years, and I do not want to do it anymore. I feel much more fulfill when I am training, when I am coaching, when I'm helping others. Now, I have a partner now that is doing my sales, that he's a fabulous salesperson. He's wonderful. He excels at it. So we are both working on our strengths. The challenge is that when you find another partner, that is not their strength either. You know, and so many coaches get together. Okay, let's work together. But none of them is looking to make a mark in life by being the greatest salesman in the world. They want to be coaches. So,
Right.
and like attract alike. So some people that you're going to attract are people like you. If you have to go out of your box to go and find a salesperson, and the best
So
thing.
so how so how do you find that folk those types of people like you're saying if you're only in the circle where it's just coaches, how do you find the people who have those types of skills?
Well, most salespeople are very ambitious. And when
Mhm.
there is good money to be made, you will raise some eyebrows and said, I'll talk to this guy. And I'm not saying that you're going to find the first one that you find is going to be your ideal match, but you have to go through a few. So it's just like a combination padlock. If it has three numbers, well, you only have 999 combinations possible. So you go through each one, and eventually you'll find what you want. Most people quit after making 3 or 4 or 5 attempts, said, "Oh, that doesn't work," and then they just quit. And that is not how you get the person. You have to go through the whole process until you get the right person for you. In my case, I was lucky enough, and my bait was very attractive. I offer a very high commission percentage of my sales because I figured out that if somebody was going to make a very good living selling me, they would be very happy and they would try to sell me more. And if they make more money, I make more money. So it's not saving money on the commission. I offer a very attractive commission package, and it attracted good people.
Wow. So when you attract those people, what kind of qualities in them do you look for?
Here is something very interesting, and it has to do with your niche. I don't believe that it's easy. It is possible, but it's not probable that you're going to be very successful until you have a niche, a defined niche. The reason for that is that if you don't know what your market is, you're going to be marketing to everybody. When you market to everybody, you're not going to be catching anybody. It's like I give an analogy of hunting for squirrel or hunting for elephant. When you're hunting for squirrel, I mean, you go to a wooded area with that you know that the squirrels live in, and you can have a 22 rifle, maybe a bag for the squirrels. I mean, it's easy, right? Now, if you're going to hunt for elephant, that is a completely different ballgame. Now you have to go to India or Africa. You have to get a permit. You got to get this big gun, and then you're going to be successful at it, right? But let's say that you are hunting for elephant and said, okay, I'll catch myself a few squirrels now. Shoot a squirrel with the same rifle, you're not gonna have anything left. Or vice versa, I'm hunting for squirrels and I see an elephant, I'll kill that one. It's not gonna work. Same thing with marketing. When you don't have a target market, you are unprepared. You said, "Oh, everybody's my client." I hear so many people said, "If you breathe, you're my client. If you have skin, you're
Right.
my
I've
client."
heard that.
You're
Yeah.
that is so, I want to say stupid, but it is. I'm sorry. You have to target market. That doesn't mean that that's going to be your only market. If you
Right.
go and fish there, and then you go and buy the equipment for the other one, then you buy for the equipment for the other one. If you don't have a target market, it is so difficult because you're going everywhere. Now, one of the things that happened with my salesperson is that he was already embedded in an industry. He was embedded in an industry tremendously. So he said, "You know what? Do you mind if I just go for this low-hanging fruit first?" I said, "Hey, by all means." What happened is that we picked that industry to work with, and it became a niche. And it happens to be that nobody was working that niche. It extended just sideways like 2 degrees, and we are so happy because through where he was already embedded, we found a niche that nobody was working already. So in 6 months, because he started with me in pretty much January, from there to now, we are training the largest company of its kind in town, and we are training the two following biggest ones, and we have contracts to start working with others in the same industry. We have major associations from the industry bringing us in. So in very little time, we're becoming the experts for training, sales, customer service, and communications to that particular industry. I think it's phenomenal.
Wow.
But you see, when you find now, if I find another salesperson that is embedded already in another industry, it's a no-brainer. You see,
Right. Right.
so in essence, uh, each cowboy comes with their own horse.
Yeah.
Why have him jump to another one? You see, so I've heard many years ago that the riches are in the niches.
Hmm.
Just going for everyone, it really doesn't work. And if it works, and I know it works for some people, I mean Tony Robbins, Brian Tracy, John Maxwell, but we're not them, you know. So until your name gets
There's this debate
validated to
though,
that
but
level,
even
go ahead.
yeah, but I mean, even for those guys, I was gonna say, even for those guys, like Tony Robbins, he talks about his niche when he got started was really give me the people that have never been turned around, and I'll turn them
With
around. He
technology,
was like
yeah,
yeah, it was like the impossibles guy. Like that was his niche, and he just expanded it. Now he does relationships and health and all these different areas. But kind of just like what you were saying, like he started in a very very specific place and then grew out from there. I'm not really familiar with Brian Tracy's background, um, but have you heard that? Does that make sense, or is
oh,
that
absolutely. And now I think that we expand our market out of desperation, because we'll help anybody
okay?
because we want to do our craft. So when you
Right,
don't have audiences, when you don't have clients, you can work. So you'll take anybody. I understand that most of us require a period of self-validation. I I don't know anybody that just comes out and say, "Oh, I'm a great coach and I'll help you," and they don't believe in themselves. In order to believe
right,
in yourself, you do have to go through a period of self-validation. Then, when you have been able to help people and company after company, then you create this self-validation that you have the authority to stand in front of an audience. And I said, "I can help you," and that changes the equation. And it changes in sales, because with the person that is doing my sales, uh, he was a client first,
mm,
so he knew what he was selling. So
right,
it does change the equation.
right.
I hope it makes sense.
No, no, it totally makes sense. It totally makes sense. And I'm just thinking about, you mentioned just Chet Holmes had a saying. It was, great salespeople aren't made; they're found and made better. And it kind of sounds like that's what you're doing. You're going out and looking for people who are already embedded in an industry, already understand, already have some customers and clients or contacts, and you're training them on your product, your offering, your service, and then they're going out and selling it to those people with existing skills. Maybe you're enhancing their skills a little bit, but like you said, this
Maybe.
guy was a client, but for the most part, you're finding them. Like you're finding them out there somewhere else.
Absolutely. I think that, and I know that there's a lot of shovel sellers out there, and
A shovel seller? Like
yeah, if
what's
you
a shovel seller?
remember this guy Brennan, he was the richest man in California during the gold rush.
Okay.
It was the guy that made the most money out of the gold rush in California. He never digged for gold. He sold shovels.
Sold shovels. Okay.
So and
Okay.
he made his money, his millions selling shovels, because he knew that everybody that was going to go to California was going to need shovels and stuff. So he just stood in the middle of the street, then opened up his store. So he was the person that made the most money. Nowadays,
Because he had a ready-made market, like it was.
here no here but the idea here is that most people that I know, they just sell shovels, and they said, "Oh, the internet is great. Everybody's making money at it." I said, that's not true. It is so expensive. I know a handful of people that are making money in the internet and the Facebook and the social media, a handful, but yet everybody thinks, oh, I gotta be there. I gotta have a great web page, and I have to go into this, and I have to go into that, and they don't look in their own backyard. They don't go and do the actual selling. I think that the internet and all that is icing on the cake. If you actually break that code and you have all the money and time and expertise to throw into that, it would eventually work. But by then you have to have validation. By then you have to have your videos, your programs. Otherwise, what are you selling? So,
Right.
so we have forgotten to go and actually hit the pavement. Go and make those 10 calls a day. Go and make 15 calls a day. Go and meet the people. Go and validate yourself. Create a following. Go into all the networks that you can do. So now you become a person that now you may have something to sell in the internet. We're doing it backwards. There's so many people that just spend the money on a name and a web page and then they sit back, said, okay, world, come to me and find me. You say, oh, it's not working. Well, no, you're not working. So, so my point is that, yeah, the internet is great and it's fabulous, and the social media is great, it's fabulous, and all those things are great. You have to have a business. You have to work. You have to go and call on people, and that's not a shortcut. I don't know. Maybe you know
Right.
more people that are making money doing that. I don't.
I agree with you in a lot of ways. I think the best way I see the internet as a leverage tool. Like if you already have something going, you can use the internet to leverage it to a larger capability. Or the for like say from like 2000 to 2010, there was just the idea of, oh, everybody's going to be an internet marketer, and we could just put up a sales page and sell online and buy Google traffic or whatever. But now that's kind of gone away, and to some extent. But now I see it more as the internet starts a conversation, especially in social media. You're starting a conversation somewhere, and then you have to bridge that conversation and take it offline and take it into the real world at some point.
And I don't think that it has gone away.
Right.
When this thing started in 2000, how many web pages were out there? So the thing is that it has diluted to billions. I mean, there were millions, now there are billions. So it has diluted. So now most of the people that approach us with that thing, they're just selling you a shovel, and the shovels could be $600 or $6,000, still a shovel. Unless you have anything to shovel, then they're useless. So
Right.
I might be the only one thinking this way, but
Well,
I do hit the pavement. I do
yeah,
use the phone.
yeah,
I do call on the human resources people. I do networking. I show my face everywhere I can
Right.
because that's my business.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you though, because I do know there's one particular area that you know you you had mentioned it was really has really helped your business, and that was video. So what how has video the the way in which you utilize video, how has that impacted your business or opened doors for you with clients or prospects or connected you in some ways? How has leveraging that tool how has that helped you?
Let me tell you first the scariest moment in my life.
Okay.
And I through my life I have been a daredevil. I've done everything. But the scariest moment in my life was when I did my first video and I was gonna hit the enter key because uh, at the end of the day I'm an introvert. I'm an introvert that hides in plain sight. But I never, through my business career, through my life, I had never wanted to have my picture anywhere. I didn't want. I was an old school type of guy that they would say, if you build a better mouse trap, they will come to your door. They'll what I said, they
Right.
whatever. I said, if I do my work properly, if I am good at what I do, people will come to me. I don't have to go and show my face. Let me tell you one thing here now. I was dead wrong. People look for people that their faces and the TV, that they have their picture. We have this innate uh, tendency to like people that are entertainers. That's why entertainers are the highest paid people in the world, not teachers.
Mm.
So if you want to teach, if you want to coach, and you said, "Oh, I'm so good that people are going to come to me," you're dead wrong. You have to have an entertainer persona because that is what opens the door for learning. They would not learn from you unless you entertain them. That's why the more flamboyant you are, the more you scream. I know some trainers that are completely over the top, and they charge $30,000 for a seminar, and people pay it. So because they have this entertaining persona and they use it to leverage their information and the value to people. So it took me very long to learn that, and that's when I started with the videos. And I made the worst videos in the world that you can imagine. I mean, they were bad, but I hit the return key anyway. And then it took me months, probably about a year, between I started buying the right equipment, buying the programs and the whole thing, and my videos got gradually better. To this point, they're not professional, but I do good enough videos. And and my technique comes from a book that is called Jab, 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 Hook, which means that it's free, 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 fee. So I just
It's
put out,
Gary Vaynerchuk's movie or book, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
So the point is that this type of marketing is that you're giving and giving value and giving value and giving value, and then you create a following. And from time to time, I hit them with a seminar or a conference or an offer for coaching, and people are much more receptive because they already know my work. If you go into my webpage, you'll see that I have a bunch of videos and testimonials, and I think that that gives people a chance to see who you are, what you
Yeah.
believe in, what kinds of things do you do. And if you have people that agree with you and like you, then when you market to them, it would be easy. So that's how videos have helped me. Besides raising my level of courage, because everybody, I don't know, maybe it's worse for me than anybody else, but you see a picture of you and it's like, wow, don't show me that again. When you see yourself in a video, it's even worse. Now, purposefully making a video of yourself and putting it out there for the world to see, it's very difficult. But just be kind. Don't tell me it was horrible, which some people have, by the way.
Well, yeah. No, you're doing. I mean, it's. I think you're right though. Like it's a huge. it's a huge barrier to overcome. Just to have the confidence to do that. Um, I mean, I have to, I'm no expert at this, and I'm worked up the confidence to do this. I could have done this years ago, and people were like, oh, you should do this thing, and I avoided it, and I'm like, no, 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 I'm gonna put you on the behind the scenes. I'll do the work for you, and yeah, I mean
It's
I
even
see that.
worse, Josh.
Go ahead.
Josh, it's even worse when you are speaking your mind. When you are going, I mean, it's just not what you look like; it's what you say, and it's your ideas and what you put out there. My first experience with this was with my blog, and I had a comment from my daughter that she said, "My, you are very courageous just to putting this out there." And it is true because it is what I think, and when you do it in a video and you're putting yourself behind it, it's even it's even worse because when I listened to them, I said, "Oh my gosh, somebody's gonna shoot me one of these days," but hasn't happened yet.
But it opens doors for you, though, right? I mean, you were telling me before you've had people come up to you and say, "Hey, I saw you do this video. Um, I'd like to hire you." I mean, is that
Yes. Yes, that has happened. People coming into my webpage, and or I go to do some training somewhere, and somebody says, I saw your video, and we say, whoa, it's kind of surprising still to me that people watch, but I guess they do, and it has helped.
good? And that's has that made it easier? Have you found that's made it easier when through the sales process?
Uh, yes, it does. It's actually easier. I do have a contract that I am negotiating right now with a company in San Diego, and I was interviewed over the phone by three of the executives, the president, vice president, and human resource president, a very large company, and I went all out. I mean, over the top, in the phone, because they wanted a motivation for leaders and they wanted training for their people, and I just went over the line. I was standing and I was yelling. I was telling about what I believe and what I do and the leadership and all these things. It was a 45-minute conversation over the phone. And when I finished, and I had the salesperson also attend the teleconference here, I expected something back. I mean, oh, George, whatever. And they said, okay, thank you. That's all we wanted. We'll call you back. And when they hang up the phone, I said, oh my gosh, I blew it. It was horrible. I just went all out. About 2 weeks later, about a week ago, I got a call from the salesperson that they were talking about dates and when can I could come up. And I said, I dodged that one. But you see, in everything you do, you can be vanilla. You can be like vanilla ice cream, and that is safe. I think that anybody that is in front of the public or that you want to talk to other people, you want to be liked. And to be liked by the majority of people, you want to blend in and you want to be vanilla. If you want to make it in this industry, you can't. You have to make a persona. You have to be who you are. And if 50% of the people don't like you, great, you can run for president of this country and you might even win. You
Yeah,
see,
right.
the challenge that we have is that we want to be loved by 100% of the people. We don't want to offend anybody. We want to be politically correct. And that doesn't make it in this industry. It's my opinion.
So what's your persona? What's the persona that you found to be successful for you?
I am the tough love business coach.
The tough love business coach. Okay.
Yes, because this happens to all of us. You're going to start a business and you start asking everybody around, your friends, your coworkers, you tell them about your business. Everybody tells you, oh, great idea. You're going to be doing fabulous. I wish I thought of that before. Then you go into the business and you fail miserably. Then you go back and say, oh, I knew it. Everybody says, "Oh, I knew it." So why didn't you tell me? Oh, you were so passionate about it. We didn't want to put you down, because most people don't like confrontation. They
Right.
don't have the guts to tell you, you know what? That sounds like a bad idea. I do. So I pretty much tell people what I think. They may disagree, that's fine, but at least they'll have a voice that plays devil advocate, and they'll push you. And when you have to defend your ideas, you become stronger. You have better concepts. And I am the tough love business coach, and some of my clients can attest to that.
I like that. I can see that being really strong, and just speaking your truth to them, and getting them to
That
take
doesn't
action
mean
on
that I'm right.
it. Right.
Doesn't mean I'm right. But I will find the weaknesses in your armor, and I will shoot you there. Because I don't shoot to
Brutal.
kill. I just let you know so you can fix it.
Fix it. Yeah.
So you can
Yeah.
fix it. No one does that. So that's what I do.
I like it. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. Well, thank you, George. I think we've gone through a lot of stuff, and I really appreciate you sharing a lot of your insights in this. Let's talk about like what are you working now? What do you have that's upcoming that if people were interested in getting some more interaction with you or learning more about you, what could they do to find some more information?
Well, of course, for coaching, you can always call me and to go through my website. But I am putting together. I think that one of the greatest weaknesses that we have in business is that most people that I know, they're really bad at presenting their business. I know people that I have to have 3 or 4 conversations with them before I actually know what they do, because they're not clear at explaining it. So my next project, I'm putting out a seminar in July in Las Vegas for learning how to sell from the podium. I believe that anybody in any type of industry, they have to learn how to present and how to sell from the podium. I did. I paid my coach 5,000. I don't know. I think it was about $5,000 for a training on how to sell for the podium, and I didn't learn the whole thing. I had to. He gave me the techniques, and I went through the whole thing. And this is a very nice way to see how your message is coming across, because all the participants become your critics as well. So we have a videotape, and we videotape you, and then we go through the techniques. We videotape you again, and you have to have a presentation, and you will hear honest opinions and great techniques on how to present and how to actually close deals from the podium, which is what the masters do. So that would be in July. If anybody is interested in doing that with us, just contacted me at my email, which is roscoaching@gmail.com. That's roscoaching@gmail.com. And I will be very happy to send you all the information.
And what was your website? That
My
people can.
website is, again, it's my company name is Results Oriented Strategies. So I use the first letters roscoaching.com. roscoaching.com. And I
And what I'll
do
do is
everything
I'll
I
take.
do.
Good.
Everything I do it in 2 languages. So I train in English and Spanish. So if there's people out there that are not too proficient with the English, we'll try it in Spanish.
Very cool. Very cool. So what I'll do is I'll take the link for your website and I'll put that. It'll be down below because this video will go on YouTube. Anybody watching the replay will be watching
Awesome.
on YouTube. So we'll put that on there so they can learn more. And you said that the dates were July.
I still have to have the date firm, but
Okay.
that would be the last week of July.
Okay.
So anybody who wants to come to hot Las Vegas, I promise you a good time. Because people are afraid of the heat in Las Vegas, but I tell everybody that Las Vegas is always 75 degrees. Just don't go out.
Right. Yeah. Which part of the day? Yeah. Yeah. Stay inside. Stay inside the
Yeah, just don't
casino.
go out. Don't go out. Nice.
It's 75 at one point during the day,
Yeah,
possibly.
yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. Is there anything that Is there anything else you wanted to share that maybe we didn't cover, we missed?
Uh, I believe that most of your audience either are solopreneurs or coaches or trainers, and it is a incredible calling. Everybody needs us. The only shortcut to success is training and coaching. It is an incredible calling. Now, go and sell. Actually, make yourself behave like the way we train people to behave. We have to make the phone calls. We have to go and do the visits. I understand that what I'm saying about leveraging another salesperson, it's even better because it is very hard to talk about how good we are in front of another person. But if a third person is selling you and telling all your graces and how great you are, then it doesn't sound bad. So think about working with salespeople that understand you and that know what you do and that they are uh, in the same world, in the world of training, in the world of coaching, that they have had coaches or training themselves. When they understand it, then it's easy to sell because everybody needs us. Everybody needs us. So
Mm.
that's about all that I would like to say.
Very cool, very cool. And I really like uh, that piece as well. Like you kind of have to. I mean, even if you are just starting out, you still kind of have to go through those ropes. You still have to, because it's you start to define your what you're about and what your program's about when you make those initial sales calls. Because I found that I was just like I was just a lot of times like I treat sales just like a conversation. So it's like I'm finding out what is it that they need, and a lot of times, right?
Invite people to your seminars for free. I mean,
Yeah.
don't tell everybody, but some of my first seminars, 75% of the people there were for free. Nobody knew who was for free, but what I did is I was investing in the future because next seminar they knew the value and they got invited the first one, so they wanted to come again, and I kind of created some sort of a following that went from individuals to companies to corporations, and it was very fast. So don't be afraid of investing your money. I mean, because who's going to believe in you as much as you? If you don't believe in yourself, how can you ask anybody else to? So I mean, putting out a small seminar is not that expensive, and that is the best way of promoting yourself. So
Right.
instead of spending thousands of dollars in the social network business type of thing, put up a seminar for $1,000 and invite human resource people of the companies that you want to work with for free. And hey, is imagine that you're going to advertise yourself for 4 hours or 6 hours, and you're paying. I mean, they're sitting in front of you for you to do the advertising. So that would be my recommendation.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, thank you, George. I think you have an
Pleasure,
amazing
Josh.
amount of wisdom, and thank you for sharing and contributing. I mean, you've shown up and contributed at a very high level. I really appreciate just having this chat with us. I think that I'm hoping that the folks that were on with us today, and anybody who watches the replay is going to get a lot out of this, and I hope they're able to apply it to their business because I'm 100% agreeing with you too that there's people need coaching, people need that service. Like some of the most successful people in the world have a coach, and probably the majority of the most successful people in the world have a coach, or multiple coaches, if for that matter. So thank you so much. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. Go ahead and hang out for a minute, and we'll end this. And yeah, see you guys in the next one. Thank you. Bye.